Ever since my most recent Six Flags trip, and I rode every single ride again, including the new Wonder Woman roller coaster, all my thoughts completely has changed. So I decided to rearrange some of my rankings since my last video I felt was like a bit off. I visit Six Flags on a daily basis and it's my most favorite theme park along with Knott's Berry Farm. That video will also be coming out very soon. We're reviewing the stats, the coaster, why I love it so much, and the accident history of the roller coaster if it has any. So here's my top 16 favorite roller coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 16 is Gold Rusher. Being the first ever coaster to be in the Six Flags Magic Mountain Park, Gold Rusher is really a rip-roaring experience. It has a top speed of 35 miles per hour, and it has 2 chain lift hills, and it costs $1.2 million to build. It was made by Aerodynamics and is a good starter coaster for family and friends. You can find this coaster in the boardwalk area right across from Riddlers Revenge. Make sure to take your kids on this ride, because this is really a Gold Rush experience. It's truly one of my favorite kiddie coasters. This ride does not have any history of any accidents at all. Number 15, The New Revolution. Opening in 1976, The New Revolution, created by Schwarzschild, I'm sorry if I said that name wrong, is a roller coaster you should truly give a try out if you're starting out on Six Flags Magic Mountain. It was the first coaster to ever have a version in the United States. It has a top speed of 55 miles per hour, and it costs $2 million to build. I find this coaster very relaxing and fun, but I wish it didn't have so many brake hills. In 2016, it was refurbished to The New Revolution. It got new trains, a new station, and in 2016 to 2017, it had VR, which was really cool. I wish they would have kept the VR. This is the first ride you see when you enter the park, and it's also very close to the entrance, so make sure you check out this ride if you're starting out. This coaster has a history of 3 accidents. On July 18, 1978, the braking system on the coaster malfunctioned, which caused the train to go 3 feet backwards. On the rise lift hill, when it was up the 75-foot incline of its midpoint, 22 people was injured on the ride. 10 of them suffered really bad injuries and were taken to the hospital for treatment. This ride had already been inspected earlier that morning with no mechanical issues during its test runs. On May 30th, 1996, 25-year-old park attendant Cherie LaMotte was killed while crossing the tracks in a roller coaster station. She slipped and fell into the shallow pit beneath the tracks and was struck by a train that was pulling into the station. What a horrible way to die. And on June 13, 2015, 10-year-old Jasmine Martinez, who was riding the roller coaster, was found unconscious but breathing after returning to the ride station. She died the following day at a nearby hospital. A coroner's report said the girl died from natural causes unrelated to the ride itself, as an autopsy, if I said it right, was performed to determine the exact cause of her death as requested by her parents. What a horrible way to die. What a horrible way. Number 14, Superman Escape for Krypton. This was planned to open in 1996 but opened in 1997 due to issues with the ride. Superman EVGA, or Escape for Krypton, is a launch free fall coaster that was made by Antonov. It was the first roller coaster to hit 100 miles per hour in the United States and has a height of 415 feet. This ride has 2 vertical spikes, one going forward, one going backward. In 2011, it was renamed Superman Escape for Krypton. It got a new paint job, trains, and the Superman statue at the top of the ride has been removed. I don't think this is a bad free-for-all in general, considering it's only 30 seconds, which I'm fine with. If you want to get on this ride, you gotta walk up the hill right next to Gold Rusher, and it'll be right on your left when you're done walking that hill. If you're gonna ride this ride, make sure to go on an empty day, because the last 3 times I went, this ride was only running 1 train, and the wait time was about 45 to 1 hour, which is not really good. So make sure you go on an empty school day, and then maybe you'll be able to ride this. It's a very fun ride, very fast. You can barely hear anyone screaming. And like I said, depends on the day you go if you really want to ride this. This ride has no history of accidents, which is really good. It's all clear. Number 13, Ninja. Ninja is a suspended coaster created by Aerodynamics and is truly the best suspended coaster in my opinion. This ride was built for $6 million and has a top speed of 55 miles per hour. I find Ninja to be a very fun ass ride. It's surrounded by a lot of hills, trees, and at the end of the ride, water. This ride is located right next to Superman Skate for Krypton, and I totally would give this ride a try out if you're starting out the park. This coaster is really great for friends, family, and totally kids. There is a history of 2 accidents on this coaster. On August 30th, 2008, 20-year-old Carlos Benzes, if that's how you say his last name, was hospitalized after being hit by the train and knocked unconscious when he allegedly climbed multiple security fences to receive a hat. He was airlifted to the nearby hospital and he was pronounced dead at 2 a.m. the following day due to a blood force trauma. Yikes! On July 7th, 2014, 22 guests were stranded for over 2 hours after a tree branch fell, which caused the first train to go off the ride to derail from the coaster tracks. 4 of the 22 guests were injured, but nobody was seriously hurt for them to get a hospital visit. The ride reopened 12 days later on July 19th. What a scary experience to be into. Number 12, Scream. Ah yes, everyone's favorite parking lot coaster. Scream is a 4-wheelers coaster that first opened in 2003 and has a top speed of 63 miles per hour. To find this ride is located all the way in the back of the steampunk district. Scream gets tons of backlash for being a parking lot coaster and for sometimes being really rough. My 2 times on Scream, I find this coaster to be very smooth depending on where you're sitting at. I find it very enjoyable, and this ride barely has any lines, which is good if you really want to ride this ride. In 2015, Scream was repainted to a blue track and had orange supports for the grand opening of Twisted Colossus, and I gotta recommend this ride if you're a fan of smooth coasters. This ride only has 1 accident on its history. On April 9, 2004, 21-year-old park employee Batita Ratchamore, if that's how you say the name right, died after being struck by the roller coaster while underneath the track doing a test run prior to the park's opening that day. The roller coaster was allowed to reopen the next week after an inspection found no mechanical issues. Number 11, Viper. Viper is a looping coaster created by Aerodynamics and is truly one of the oldest rides in the park, opened in 1990. It was built for $8 million and has 7 inversions. To get on Viper, you have to pass the New Revolution. It's located near X2. This ride also gets tons of backlash for being a really rough ride, and I can agree sometimes. I don't feel the roughness sometimes, and then when I get on a ride, sometimes I do feel my head jamming against the train. It's not that I hate Viper, it's just I wish it was a little bit more smoother. I'm hearing tons of rumors that Six Flags might tear this coaster down or give it to another Six Flags park, which I hope doesn't happen because Viper was one of my favorite rides back then when I first rode this in 2014. This was also the first ride I rode when I went to Six Flags Magic Mountain. This coaster is very ironic, and it was very ironic in the 90s, and it still is operating today, which is insane. Get this ride a try out if you're into looping coaster. This ride does not have any history of no accidents at all. Number 10 is Apocalypse. One of my favorite wooden coaster. This ride opened in 2009 for $10 million and has a top speed of 50 miles per hour. It was named Terminator Salvation, and then it was named to Apocalypse right after that. I have a serious love for this coaster. It's very fast, especially at nighttime, and I truly love every second of it. It roars you through the whole ride, and it does a great job of doing it. Get a night ride on this because it's so much better and it's so much faster, and you also can't see anything in the dark. The last 2 times I went on this, there was only 1 running train, so if I were you, I'll get a flash pass for this ride or just get on it when the park opens, because I believe there's something wrong with the other train and it won't be working for a while. Make sure to totally get this ride a try out because it's a really good woody coaster. This ride has no history of no accidents at all, which is really impressive. Number 9 is Goliath. This might be a surprise to you since the last list Goliath hit number 2, which is really insane because I realized that my last ride on Goliath wasn't all that great. This is a hyper coaster with a 255-foot drop and has a top speed of 85 miles per hour. It's not that I hate this hyper, it's just I shouldn't have put it so high on my last list. Yes, it's a fun ride, but there are so much things that's way better than this ride. First, the drop is only 61 degrees, which is pretty stale. It has one airtime moment and then a mid-course brake run after that Helix ruins the ride. After that, the ride is fun, always, especially the part where there's a ton of G-forces. I'll admit the drop always does get me and it feels steeper than 61 degrees, but it's whatever. Do not go on this ride if you're going to check it out the last station you're at, the last second when you're at the station, because trust me, tons of people is going to check out this ride and I was one of them, twice. This ride is fun, nothing but just fun. This ride has one history of an accident. On June 2nd, 2001, 28-year-old Pearl Santos died of a brain tumor, is that how you say it, aneurysm, while riding Goliath. Her family sued the park, claiming the managers that was aware of this, that other people was complaining from Goliath riders, and they continued to operate the roller coaster anyway, which is insane. Number 8, West Coast Racers. I know, it's very low, most people will call this a top 5 or even top 3 in the park, but it's my opinion. This was opened in 2020 with a top speed of 55 miles per hour. It has two sides, a white side and a yellow side, kinda like Twisted Colossus. This has tons of airtime and hangs you out of your seat. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Premier Rides built this and it's a very intense and smooth coaster. You can find this in the boardwalk area past Coal Rusher. This line does get very long, so make sure you get on this ride if you really want to get lucky and get on this insane thing. Of course, this ride is very new, so it has no accident history. Number 7, Riddlers Revenge. This is by far the best stand-up coaster in the world, and there's no doubt. This ride opened in 1998 and was built for $14 million. You have an option to sit down or stand up on this ride, whichever you prefer. B&M made this extreme coaster and I can't believe that it's in my top 10. It's fast, sometimes smooth, and it's a very long ride. It also roars very loud, so if you pass by it or wait in line for it, just cover your ears because it can get very loud. It was repainted from black to green to green to yellow, which fits the theme even more. I love this ride, the versions are nice, it's cool, and it's very fun. Make sure you give this ride a go. It's located in the DC Universe area, and this ride has no history of any accidents at all. Number 6, Batman a Ride. This is just a clone of the other Batman rides at other Six Flags park, but it's still a fun ride. This ride opened in 1994 and has a top speed of 50 miles per hour. It's very smooth and I totally recommend this roller coaster. It's also very fast. This thing whips you across the whole damn track. It's not even a joke, especially at the end, which will most likely make you gray out. It is located in DC Universe and I wouldn't count this as an accident, but I'll include it anyway. On May 2nd, 1999, a 17-year-old boy suffered near fatal stab wounds in the ride's line by a 33-year-old man from California and his 23-year-old girlfriend. The incident occurred as he was trying to meet up with some friends while cutting in line to approach him. He was taken to hospital where he was listed in serious condition. While the couples and Los Angeles County Sheriff, the couple who stabbed him were taken into custody at the police station on suspicion of attempted murder and with the bail being set to $500,000, which is absolutely insane. Number 5, Full Throttle. Who doesn't love this ride? This opened in 2013 and has a top speed of 70 miles per hour. The reason why this ride is so cool because it's located right in front of the park and it's pretty much the park's signature coaster. It has one of the tallest and slowest loops in the road. That tunnel bit and the top hat before the ride and end makes it a must ride. Of course, it's located right in front of the park and this ride has one accident on history. On July 10, 2021, a person suffered minor injuries after getting their foot lodged between the coaster cars and the station platform. Park staff responded immediately to the incident, and the victim was safely removed from the ride, then transported to the hospital. Number 4. Twisted Colossus. This is truly a fantastic coaster. There is no reason to hate this. It was the park's biggest ceremony coaster in 2015, and it's the best RCM coaster in my opinion. The 80-degree drops, the airtime hills, the dueling coasters, is so much in this ride. I have at least been on this ride 6 times, and it does not disappoint. It's fun, very smooth, aggressive, but fun, and very long. It is located also in the steampunk district, so make sure to get this ride a go. It's one of the best rides at Six Flags Magic Mountain. There's 4 accident reports on this ride, which is really insane, so let's go ahead and get into all of them. Some of them occurred on the old Colossus and one of them on the Twisted Colossus ride, so let's get into it. On December 26, 1978, 20-year-old Carol Flores died after falling out of the ride. The lap bar was locked in place, but it proved to be ineffective. Due to the woman's obesity, the incident prompted Colossus to be closed for a year while the trains were replaced and other adjustments were made. One of the old cars had been sent to the Sky Tower. On June 6, 1993, one of the coaster trains rear-ended another train that was parked inside the station, which resulted in 7 rides suffering minor injuries. They were taken to the nearest hospital and later released. The coaster was temporarily shut down in order for the brakes of the tracks to be adjusted, plus safety tests were made to make sure that it was operating normally as usual. The one you all been waiting for. On September 8, 2014, a fire broke out on the Colossus lift hill. The ride had already been closed for conversion into Twisted Colossus, and no injuries or deaths were reported. The fire was caused by welders working on removing the track. On July 7, 2022, the most recent one, an 8-year-old girl received 10 stitches on her forehead at a nearby hospital after she was hit in the face while riding Twisted Colossus, and the cell phone that hit her while she was riding it. Number 3. The bronze medal goes to Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. 3 words, oh my god, what the fuck did I just get on? This ride is truly Magic Mountain's top 3. It's fast, aggressive, and the back row is the way to go. I went on back row and this shit just freaking almost flew me out the seat. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. That's how good it is. Just recently opened in July 2022, is very smooth and has a very fast line. It runs 3 trains and is located in the DC universe. To be honest, it's the best single rail roller coaster in the world, and it's totally a bucket list ride if you're going to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Trust me, you're gonna love this ride. This ride has no accident history since it just opened in 2 months ago. Number 2. Silver medal goes to Tatsu, the one and only. The best flying coaster in the world and will always be the best flying coaster in the world. Tatsu stands for Flying Dragon in Japanese, and it does not disappoint. It's a very intense and smooth ride. The versions are great, and it does feel like you're flying in the air the whole time. But one thing makes this ride has the title that it has today, and it's the 124-foot pretzel loop. I've been on this thing twice, probably 3, probably 4 times, and nothing scares me more than Tatsu's pretzel loop. This scares pretty much everyone. The feeling of it is very hard to explain because that's how good it is. It feels like a refrigerator being dropped on your head and you're going backward. That's why it's very hard, and that's why it's a good coaster. If you're afraid of heights, I would recommend getting on this roller coaster, but if you are looking to get on a good coaster, I would totally recommend flying this freaking beast. It's truly my second most favorite coaster, and this ride has no accidents on record, which is really good. Number 1. The gold medal goes to X2.
2, 3.
X2!
Trust me, when you ride X2, closing your eyes will not make this fear go away.
further ado, let's watch as the first train of X2 is launched. Now it's your turn to experience the mighty X2. Enjoy.
Frank Sinatra on X2.
You guys knew this roller coaster was coming. I had a couple words to explain this beast. Wild, intense, extreme, very rough but a fun-ass coaster. This ride has a top speed of 76 miles per hour, and at first when it was named X, it cost $45 million to build X, and then when they wanted to change to X2, it cost $55 million, making aerodynamics go completely bankrupt, but it was all worth it. The on-ride audio and the fire at the end makes this ride the cherry on top. The first drop, you can't even feel it. The weird airtime after the drop makes it to take the trophy home. It will always be my #1 favorite coaster, and nothing will ever change it. It's too intense, relaxing, and scary, but it's freaking amazing. 10 out of 10. And that's my list, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed, or if you guys have your own list, please let me know down in the comments below. Without further ado, waffle the fuck out!
I'm grinding to the top like I'll never go to stop. Man, hating on me, you need a cop drop. I'm trying my best, it's hard like a test. Yes, 247, I'm very impressed. Ha, man, doing YouTube is like a dream come true.